only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that it was all started by a mouse.
Be a man, we must be swift as a coursing river. Be a man, with all the force of a great typhoon. Be a man, with all the strength of a raging fire. Mysterious as the dark side of the moon. Please welcome.
Welcome back, Soapcallers, to our 25 Days of Disney. I'm Amanda.
I'm Jennifer.
And today, Samantha?
Where's Samantha?
Samantha doing this. So, today, we're going to be talking about Frozen 2.
Mm-hmm. And just a fair warning, there are spoilers.
Yes. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, you might want to skip along.
Mm-hmm. And we would like to let you know that this video, we are making it for all ages.
Yes.
So children, adults, anyone can watch it, even children 13 and under.
Yes. Okay. As far as Disney movies go,
Mm-hmm.
did you think this was a hit or a miss?
I think it was a hit. And the other thing is, guys, this is a sequel. And it did not bomb out.
And it's a sequel that was released in theaters.
Yes, that is another thing too. So they got 2 check marks.
Yeah. Most sequels are not released in theaters for Disney.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes they will be really, really good and we cherish them, and sometimes they're not. And the critics really nail them when they review them and put out their ratings. But this one, you've got people out there saying that it is even better than the first one.
I like a lot of the music better.
I love the music in the first one and the second one. So, I don't know, to me, I liked both of them, but I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's less, it's more geared, the songs are more geared towards a broader audience than just children, in my opinion.
Okay.
Whereas, like, Do You Want to Build a Snowman, in the very, in the early stages of that song, is very childlike.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yes. So this one catered to my usual tastes more, especially when they did their artist covers of the songs. Mm-hmm. My favorite so far has been Panic at the Disco's version of Into the Unknown.
Yeah, and I heard that a lot on the radio before it even came out. And I would say that it didn't, like, some people don't like listening to certain music or that before the movie comes out. It didn't honestly spoil anything at all.
Yeah.
It didn't hinder towards anything. That it was nice hearing that and then hearing like what the actual version of the song is.
Yeah.
And I know you mentioned that you do enjoy the Panic at the Disco version a little bit more than the original.
Mm-hmm. A little bit. It's because of the vocal ranges.
Okay.
And I also just happen to really love Brendan Urie. So it's I do still enjoy Idina Menzel's version, the original version. Just there's something about the way that I think it's a little more dramatic in the Panic at the Disco version in some parts. That's what I enjoy.
I've not listened to them side by side, so maybe if I did, I would notice that.
Mm-hmm.
So far, I haven't noticed that. Maybe if I listen side by side, I would.
There's parts in for Idina Menzel where she gets really quiet and kind of like a whisper.
Okay.
And that adds a little bit of drama to it. He is just
a lot of drama.
forthcoming the whole time with his voice, and he has very high ranges.
Mm-hmm.
So
he did a good job with it, and I know a lot of people have been complimenting on that too. Yeah. Who else does? Is it Weezer?
Yes, it's Weezer. Did the Kristoff song "Lost in the Woods"?
That number made you laugh. It was enjoyable and it was funny. And a lot of the younger kids won't get it, but it was like a 90s or 80s music video.
Yeah. Oh my god, it was great.
Yeah.
That is one of the best parts of this movie. Like, this movie was nice because there was a lot of comedy within it.
Yes. We were laughing so much. There are so many like good parts in it.
I don't think there was a part I didn't like within this movie, to be honest.
You know what? That's actually a really good point.
Because in the original, I did not care for Anna and Hans's song "Love Is an Open Door."
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. that's interesting because I do enjoy that. So see, everyone has their own opinions on
Yeah.
stuff.
So that's right. Each one of these I enjoyed in Frozen 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm even trying to think, is there any part of this movie I didn't like? I don't think so.
Yeah, it felt, I like that we got a little bit of a backstory for Elsa. Some stuff was confirmed.
Yeah, so that was the thing I was gonna talk about.
Yes, no Tarzan theory.
Mm-hmm.
That got crushed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So before we saw this, I was not reading up on anything. Unfortunately, I did get some spoilers from little kids talking about the movie when I was at the mall one day before we saw it. But online it said that the conspiracy theory that people kept talking about with the connection between Tarzan and Frozen,
Mm-hmm.
it was,
Debunked.
debunked. And I was like, how are they going to do that? And that part, maybe because the conspiracy theory was brought about, but the one part where, we already said spoiler alert, the section where it's such a jaw-dropping moment that you just have to turn and look at someone, that it's the development of the story and how they come about it, where they talk about the ship.
Yeah.
And I just feel like the development of the story, the thought process that really had to go into this,
Mm-hmm.
it just made you go like, oh my, like, what are they gonna do? Because the ship was also connected with the Little Mermaid.
Yes.
They talked about that. Is this the ship that Ariel sees? I want to say it's with Flounder and the shark.
Yes.
Or the ship that got stirred up with Ursula at the end. One of those ships that, that's underwater was maybe going to be, well, maybe that's on an Elsa's parents' ship. Then they also talked about Tarzan, that they got stranded somewhere.
In a jungle or something.
Right. And that's how Tarzan's related to them. But I remember just looking at you like, they're going to show the ship.
Another theory that was kind of debunked was that people thought that because we saw Rapunzel and Flynn at in one of the coronation scenes, they thought that Anna and Elsa's parents died at sea to be at their wedding. That they were on their way to be at their wedding. But since we know that's not where they were going.
Yeah. So they showed the ship and the location where it was at. They basically confirmed not with Ariel, not with Tarzan.
Right.
And there was this whole concept that water holds memory, correct?
Yes.
So there's whole concept that water holds memory. And so Olaf is just going on and on about this. And that's one of the comical moments. And he's like, wait a minute, I was right. So on the ship, they refresh my memory. Is it Elsa who freezes the air, or how did they then show all of the moments on the ship?
Elsa put her hands to the ship.
Okay.
Where there was still water soaked into it from the shipwreck.
Mm-hmm.
And since water holds memory, she was able to rebuild basically their parents' final moments.
Yeah. And so having this in a movie, I think is such a brilliant idea of having the physical characters in the same physical space and showing what happened. Because they also did this when they found out that Anna and Elsa's mom saved the dad.
And that Anna and Elsa's mom came from the tribe that's in the forest, that lives in the Enchanted Forest.
Yes.
And that's something that no one, I think, expected, to be honest, that they were basically a combination of two peoples.
Right. Yeah, we didn't know that. So they were just building onto these characters.
Yes.
And so stuff like that, a lot of other like TV shows or movies have done stuff like this, but to put that in a Disney movie that's a children's movie but for all ages, I feel like that's more of a higher thinking level.
Yes.
It makes me think I just thought of this right now. If any of you watch the TV show The Flash, there is a moment where Barry Allen and I think Barry Allen's in there. It's Cisco and then Joe. They're trying to figure out who killed Barry's parents. And they go into the house that Barry grew up in, and there's a mirror there. And they said that because of the flashing light from the reverse flash, that pictures were almost like taken and saved in time in the mirror somehow. So they take this mirror. I know I'm missing details of this, but it's the same type of concept, that there is something that holds a memory that you can go back with science or with the water. And I just think that is such a cool concept. And if some of this stuff would actually be like really, really real, think of like what you could possibly discover.
Right.
That could be cool, creepy.
Oh my god, there's so many things I don't want to think about with that.
Like, I live in an older house, and so, no, it's just that, like, since I've lived in the house since I was little, I can't picture anyone else living there.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it'd be cool that our house is like 80-some years old or something, to like, well, to do the water memory and see like who lived in this house, what rooms did people occupy, just to like see like when people go like they travel back in time. That concept just always intrigues me. So when they did this in the movie, I was like,
right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, just speaking of the water creates memory, when Elsa is in the ice cave, and there's a part where, because the water holds memory, there's a part with her in the ice form singing "Let It Go," and she cringes.
Yes.
And she's like, oh goodness.
Yeah, and so I forget, there's a YouTube channel that will go over stuff you've missed in movies, and that's actually one of the concepts. And they said in there that it was a nod towards parents hearing the song over and over and over again. And it was kind of like a reference towards the adults, for adults, and that she was like, oh brother, like rolling her eyes, and she's like, not this again.
No.
But I will have to admit, Into the Unknown was stuck in my head.
It's still stuck in my head.
I played it at work the next day.
I still play it daily in the car, both versions.
Uh-huh.
Oh goodness, it's so good.
And then what has been getting analyzed more is how detailed these animations are becoming.
It was so beautiful. I usually get migraines with movies, especially ones that flash a lot and lots of color. And this one was actually one, because with the bluer tones, the more calming tones, it didn't hurt as much. It didn't hurt that bad.
And just everything, like the buildup of the characters, and the whole part of that voice just calling. It's like this eerie yet mystery.
I heard a theory that is Elsa's own voice from the spirit cave.
Oh. See, I was almost worried it was like a connection with their mom or something. I'm like, well, does her mom technically have magical powers, and if she passed away, she's actually living in the cave? Because I know what they also talked about, that they're not a connection, but you can relate Fortress of Solitude with Superman with this ice cave. So that's why I'm like, I don't know. Is it like her mom's spirit trapped in the cave that's bringing her there? But it's just that voice. It's this eerie yet intriguing, like you have to follow it. Just like that, even just like the tone of the voice that they used.
Yeah.
So many things building up on top of each other that made this movie so good.
It was.
I'm trying to think of another part.
I just like how many different characters they brought in. There was a big criticism with the original Frozen that there was no diversity. Everyone looked pretty much the same. It was like a cookie cutter kind of thing. And now we have an indigenous tribe. We have the general, who's a person of color, and you see so many different people. And then there's even with the tribe, there was people who were born in the forest.
Yeah, and they've never seen the sky.
They've never seen
the clouded
the
fog.
Yeah.
And one of the people I found out is the voice of Jason Ritter. Jason Ritter is the son of John Ritter, who passed away, who was the voice of Clifford the Big Red Dog, Three's Company. His son has now been doing animation voices. I want to say they said he's in some animation that's on TV now. I don't want to say Gravity Falls.
That sounds familiar.
that there's a TV show, I don't know, one of them that Jason Ritter is the voice of, that he was then in this as one of the people, I want to say, that was talking with Kristoff.
The one that's obsessed with the deer.
Yeah. And so another thing that people are talking about is I believe Gravity Falls is a Disney animation.
Yes.
That might be on Disney XD or something. People were saying that they felt like there were connections and maybe references or similarities that goes on in Gravity Falls in here. Like how it was like a mystical forest or different stuff. I've never seen Gravity Falls. I know it's very popular.
I've seen 1 or 2 episodes.
But there was like connections with that.
One thing that was kind of pretty funny was Kristoff finally got to have a bromance with a human. You know, not just Sven. He had a bromance with a guy who was also obsessed with his deer and also made voices for his deer.
And I like how they brought people back. Like you saw the woohoo big sword blowout. You saw him.
Yes. Oaken.
Yeah.
Oaken. That was pretty cool to see him.
Mm-hmm.
And there was, oh gosh. Now, Olaf was one of the biggest shining stars of this movie.
It was so funny.
So there's a scene where the mist temporarily clears in the enchanted forest, and the 2 sides that are fighting are like, who are you guys? And they have to explain themselves. Olaf takes it upon himself to basically do a recap of Frozen 1. I spell this for one. I spell this for one. I spell this for one. And he gets his own like quick version of the story.
It is so funny.
Oh my god. I want to do movie reviews that way.
We've talked about it. We would have to figure out, because you have to have like the perfect comic relief. Like
That might be Mike.
It could be. So like sometimes it has to deal with like just like what they were doing with like the transitions where he was up close and then he turned away. The parents died. But it was a comical relief where he just turns and they died.
And then he decided, he was looking, he thought that, what did he think was Samantha?
He looked in a hole. Samantha! Well, not that kind of voice, but...
Samantha?
Samantha? And so now there's this running joke, even like on like Disney Facebook groups and just different things, that they're all like, they're doing a Pop Funko and they're writing Samantha and then there's no one in the box.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. Alright.
I think we hit like the stuff we wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Well, the only other thing was, I think it was cool what happened in the end, that she became one of the
she's the fifth element.
The fifth element, and I thought that was pretty cool, and I loved her her costume in this.
Yes. There's another theory that Elsa, being the fifth element of spirit, may actually not be alive anymore.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, someone on one of the Facebook groups came on, Elsa's dead. And so then someone like, no, they're just kidding. So I was like, wait, is there something to this?
Right.
And then when they keep talking about her becoming a spirit, usually we talk about that, like someone like passed away and they moved on, they're stuck somewhere somehow, and
yeah.
so I'm like, what's going on?
You know, she looks so much different after she
her hair
froze.
is more white.
Her hair is more
They
white.
changed the tone of her skin.
Yeah, she's a little more translucent.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a theory. We wonder, you know, with the success of this movie, is there going to be another movie, or are they going to do a TV show like they did with Tangled?
Who knows? All I know this is it's on Broadway, Frozen.
Oh,
I'm actually going.
Nice.
Me and my sister, we got tickets. Disney Visa, totally worth it, guys. I was able to get tickets before they went on sale to the public.
I had the same part because I had the Disney debit card through Chase.
Mm-hmm. So, well, that's about it. We highlighted the stuff that why we think the movie was so successful.
Yes.
Talked about what we liked. Pretty good.
Rambled on a little bit.
Who doesn't? So, yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time on our 25 Days of Disney.
Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.
Give this video a thumbs up.
This is the greatest show.